So we're back up to the start for race number 48, the heat of the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup. We have Latymer School on the Buckinghamshire station, which is to your right. And on the Berkshire station, we have Köln of Germany, which is to your left.
Pretty aggressive start from both quads here, and nothing to put between them at this point in the race. They're anxious really to get through the phase alongside the island onto the boomed pass of the course, but from that moment of nervousness before the umpire's flag drops into an explosive rhythm to get going.
And that's the last thing you want as you come off the island after the steer and slow the boat down. So, you know, they'll be making sure that doesn't happen again. They want to get into the rhythm, being strong.
Yeah, looking at the Latymer crew here with the blue blades. It was the forefront of our picture. Silver medalists at the National Schools Regatta, won in a course record time at the school's head. They're a really strong outfit, so excited to see them here. They were finalists at Henley Women's Regatta, only losing out to Henley. And they think they're one of the quickest junior quads in the country. And so they're really going to try to take the race to the Germans. On the top part of our picture in the background, the crew from Kreuzgasse, from Ruderverein Kreuzgasse in Köln in Germany.
So again, live to the images from Forley.
Still close, isn't it?
Come towards Forley, yeah. And as you said, Latymer, you know, one of the top junior women's quads we have in the country, and you know, they've definitely got their eyes on trying to win this event.
Yeah, now it's really close here. I'm just looking at yesterday's time. So the German quad here, they beat Surbiton High School yesterday in a time of 7:38, and they were significantly faster than Latymer in that event, who were 7:55, beating LEH in a rather closer race. So that might indicate that the Germans have maybe got a bit of a stronger second half to come. It looks like they've got a slight advantage here, Mark. What do you make of the technique between these two quads?
Yeah, the German crew looks really stroke girl, just a kind of right blade from this image, just seems to pull out the water a little bit, but they are moving in diamondly together. The Latymer boat moving well together as well, so they're both in that solid rhythm there to really put down some work, moving together. And you know, this is sort of racing you love at Henley, when you're side by side. It's like a fist fight.
I think it's a moment of danger here for the Germans, because I think the Latymer crew look a bit more of a better drilled crew. They're just getting the oars into the water a little bit further forward, which means a longer stroke, a bit more time to accelerate. I think the Germans look to me like they're tiring a bit here, and Latymer have made a fairly decisive move. They've eaten up maybe a canvas, getting towards half a length advantage now over the Kreuzgasse from Köln.
It looked like the Latymer boat kind of weathered the storm, the early storm that the kind of German boat put on them, and they kind of just stayed in their rhythm, stayed in their kind of race plan. You know, the last time Latymer won this event was back in 2013. Since then, it's been dominated by Gloucester. So, you know, Gloucester, don't think they're going to be in the final on the weekend. Latymer definitely got their eyes on making it to Sunday, so they definitely want to get through this round today.
Well, I really agree with you. The point you made there really is about the maturity of the Latymer crew. I think having that confidence of the season that they've had, not getting too phased in the early phases by their opposition moving hard against them, and I think that means that they're now in a position where their confidence will be building, and as your lactate is building and your tiredness is building, to be in a position where you're starting to feel more confident. Having raced here a number of times, you know, rowing through somebody as you approach the finish gives you tremendous second wind, and that's what they're trying to do now. But the Germans have not let up. That gap has probably closed a little bit since we first observed it a couple of hundred meters back, and now it's Germany, the girls from Cologne, pushing really hard to see if they can eat up further into that lead, and that means the Latymer crew will be starting to ask questions of themselves.
And this is when they really need to put the hammer down. Shut the door now. Don't give them the opportunity to kind of start going through their gears to sprint to kind of catch them. Close it now, close the race off, break contact.
I'm looking real maturity in both crews. There's not a lot of glancing across, which can be really distracting. You really have to focus on moving the boat, rowing your own boat well, but you can't help but be conscious out of the corner of your eye of the other crew, whether it's from in front or behind. They have to stay focused, and they have to start winding it in now, because we are now approaching the final 400 or 500 meters of the race. It looks like Latymer have held on to, consolidated on that advantage they took decisively a few hundred meters back.
And it's like they didn't just do it all in quite quickly. It was like gradual, just inching out every kind of other stroke, taking a few more inches, and without realising that, you know, you're the crew next to them, they're gone. So it's, you know, it's really important. The German crew start to really move now because they're running out of water.
Yeah, I mean, they expected this to be a challenging race against the Germans, the Latymer crew, and I think I really admire the coolness of these young women. At bow there, you can see the back of Olivia van Stauffenberg. In front of her is Mia Thomas, then Mia Anderson, and then Carter Nelson sitting in the stroke seat, and she's done a tremendous job. But the Germans continue to attack. They continue to come back.
They've really gone through the gears there. They're coming up to the virtually level as they come to the last section of stewards and close their canvas between them.
Yeah, I think if I was in the Latymer boat, I would just be riding up the rate a pit or two more. They've got about 10 strokes to go as they pass the progress board. It's hard to call this one.
And it's really important you start to step now. This is going to be a close one as we come towards the line.
The Germans are edging it. The Germans are edging it. Oh! Well, I couldn't call that.
I think that's their first photo finish.
I'm looking at the German crew. They're kind of collapsing the boat. They've done everything. At stroke there, Carter Nelson throws her legs out.
It's a photo finish. Normally you can tell by the athletes.
It's going to be a really... I'm not sure the photo is going to help us here. Let's have a look. See if we can stop it on the line here. Oh, I think it's Latymer. It looks like Latymer by 6 inches, would you say?
Latymer take the win there. By the smallest of margins, you can just see from the images there.
Yeah, I think it's 6 inches or 15 centimetres for our viewers in Germany.
Bow number.
Yeah. Well, that's tremendous, isn't it? I mean,
what an incredible race there.
2,112 metres, and it comes down to 15 centimetres in the end. What an incredible race. And I think, you know, both crews there, huge credit. They both rode a very, very mature race that belies their age. You know, most of these young women are 16, 17 years old, so tremendous race, one that both sets of athletes will remember for a long time to come.
And the crews are sitting there at the finish. They don't know yet. They haven't heard the call.
Yeah, you can see the faces on the Latymer crew, desperate to know, I've been in this position before. The moment of uncertainty, you think you might have got it. Actually, it's amazing how you can feel a tiny advantage, but you don't know. You don't know. Look at the...
Still waiting.
Goodness. That's Mia Thomas there sitting in the 2-seat. Olivia van Stauffenberg behind her, looking around. Is somebody going to tell them what's going on? Mark is leaning out of the commentary booth here. He's trying to tell the Latymer crew they've won. They think he's some dodgy old guy. They don't know what he's talking about. They're waiting for somebody who looks official to tell them the answer here. Look at that Dane. The Germans, meanwhile, have recovered and paddled off. I suspect that means the Germans know they were beaten, but Latymer really would like to hear some official confirmation. What a blistering race that was.
They still look stunned or unsure.
Yeah, so there's confirmation there that Latymer Upper School A beat Ruderverein Kreuzgasse from Köln in a epic race.
And that's such a hard one now to look back on.